turn on your calculator and hit the second Y equal button. And that first plot should be on. So click on it and turn it on if it's not already on, and hit enter to make sure it took. Okay? So you have on and hit it on, and then you get second quit and get out. All right, so now we're going to key in this data into our screen so we can get the equation that goes with this. Now in real life, things aren't in a straight line. We're going to do a scatter plot. Because they're not in a straight line, because you could have a really good worker who hasn't been there very long that gets paid more because they are more knowledgeable or they're better at their job, okay? And you could have somebody who's been there forever who doesn't get paid as much because he basically doesn't pull his own weight and he doesn't do his job. So they haven't been giving him good raises, but he doesn't do bad enough to fire him, okay? And that's what happens in the real world. So there's usually a range of salaries you're going to have. And you need to know what the range of salary is so that you see where you are in that range and if you have to make adjustments to make more money, if that's what you want. If you like it the way it is, then fine. It's good for you. So we're going to hit the stat key, S-T-A-T, and then hit enter. And you should have a screen like this where there's a table. Does anybody have stuff in it?
Mine does.
Yours does? If yours has stuff in it, which it will when you do the second problem, put your cursor over the L1, so it's on top of the L1, and hit clear and enter.
I don't have any of it.
Then don't worry about it right now. But this is what you're going to do when you do the second problem. Then put the cursor over the L2 and hit clear and enter. And you should have a blank screen. Everybody has a blank screen now?
I've already had that.
Yes.
How do you get there?
Don't hit stat, edit. Stat, edit. Okay, so now we're going to go. The L1 is the values of the X's. The first guy in your chart is always going to be your X's, and the second guy is always going to be your Y's. So we're going to hit 9, enter, 4, enter, 3, enter, 1, enter, 10, enter, 6, enter, 12, enter, and 8, enter. And go back up all the way to the 9, and make sure the 17's across from the 9. 17, 10, 10, 7, 19, L2, 12, 20, and 15. So you're on L1 has the X's, L2 has the Y's. So this is data that we've collected from these 8 people. Do we know how much everybody in the company makes? No, but we're going to use this as our sample to see if we can predict what people should make if they have a certain amount of experience, okay? So if everybody will hit your window button, just plain window. You should have X min, X max, all that. Everybody there? Your X min, in real life, most problems don't have negative numbers. Like you can't have negative years of experience. You can't have negative years of experience, right? And you can't make negative amount of money. So usually our min is going to be 0, but every case is different. If you do have negatives, if we're dealing with temperatures and minus temperatures, you're going to have negatives, okay? So our X minimum would be 0. Our X max, the biggest X I see there is 12, so I'm going to put like 15, just a couple more so I can see every point. And then the scale, if it's 0 to 15, you can use a scale of 1. So you've got your 3 X's, 0, 15, and 1. You have it? 0, 15, and 1 on your X min, X max, and scale.
0, 15, and 1.
On your Y minimum, I also put 0 because there's some small numbers there, but you want to be able to see everything. Your Y max, I would go to 25 just to be a little bit above that. And there you can make a scale of 5. You could do 1, but 5 works too because you want to have tick marks so you know where the tick marks are, okay? Everybody now hit your graph button.
Wow.
So this graph looks kind of like this. It's not going to be exact, but it kind of goes like this and this and this and kind of like that, okay? So there's some dots there, random dots. Those dots are not in a straight line. But if anybody's watched any action movie where there's a car chasing somebody else in a small European country, they're always on small city roads, little town roads, and they always crash through vegetable stands, right? And the vegetables go flying, and the guy that's working never gets hit. He always flies out of the way and falls on the side, so he's safe. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to be the guy in the car, and we're going to crash through these dots to the best of our ability and hit some of them. We have the dots. We're going to hit the stat button, And we're going to go over to calculate, and we're going to go down to number 4, which is a line reg. And then you're going to go down, there might be another calculate button, and then hit enter, and you're going to have a bunch of ugly numbers there that should start with 1.234042553. This is an ugly equation that has a lot of decimal places on it, and we don't want to have to take those decimal places and write them down and then put them into our y equal. So everybody together, hit the y equal button. Y equal. Make sure it's clear of any equations. So hit the clear button if there's anything there. And now you're going to do the following. Follow me? Vars. Everybody hit the vars button. VARS. It's like to the left of the clear button. Go down to number 5, statistics, or you can just type in a 5. Hit your right arrow twice so it's on the EQ. Everybody there? And hit enter. And now graph, and you become the car going through the vegetable stands. In real life, things are not always perfect. Like one year I did a survey on how many TVs people had in their homes. And most people had, well, how many TVs do you have? Quickly.
2.
2? 3? 3?
2.
2? You don't know?
5.
5?
Yes, you do. I don't know. 6.
Like, okay. One kid had 12. He would be an outlier, and his that line would never go through the 12. If you have 7, then it would never go through the 7. You would be an outlier. You're not in the range of what normal people have in their homes.
Yeah, I just have
And the line of best fit is going to just go through here. Now we want to predict what happens when a person has 34 years of experience. There's nobody there with 34 years, right?
Right.
So since you already have the equation on the y equals screen, hit second window and type in a 34 in that top table start, and make sure you're in auto, not ask, for this one. And then go to your table, go to second graph.
For independent?
Yeah, the first one. You're putting table start 34, and you have auto for both of them.
Okay.
And hit second graph, and look at your 34. It's next to 47.53, right? If I work 34 years at that company, I can expect to make $47.53. That's a prediction based on the data that I collected from the people who work there. So your first question says, draw a scatter plot. That's what this is right here. And then it'll say, write a prediction equation. When you hit that stat, calculate, and number 4, everybody hit stat, calculate, number 4, and go down to calculate. When you hit that, you're going to go to 2 decimal places. You see how it says y equals ax plus b at the top? You're going to plug those in. So it's y equals 1.23x plus 5.57. You go to 2 decimal places because you're not going to write all that out. And then when it says use the function to predict the hourly rate for 15 years, you go into your table, type in a 15, and see what the hourly rate would be. Okay, like we just did with the 34.